Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup, though. Started climbing my phone, Well, good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be back. George Morgan here at your service. It's PSGL, it's Wednesday night. It's Spain tonight as well. Lots on the table, lots of battling. The title contest is still alive and kicking. And Jack, it's only taken us 10 rounds. We're on the 11th. It's all to play for.
Boromant goes on the inside and takes the lead on the final lap of the race. Now it's side by side between Boromant and Warner, but Boromant's got the inside.
A guest star here in this phenomenal race. Cameron Dowd looking to take P2 in his very first PSGL F1 PC race. Incredible to say the least. You see that Putin's the lead. 1.5 seconds. DRS is the name.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome along to PSGL Season 35 for the top tier on PlayStation. Last week, we had another fantastic race around Qatar where the drivers were tested to their limits on tyres and fuels. And we also had some fantastic battles throughout the race, and we hope to see the same again tonight as the drivers head to the Hungary for the Hungarian Grand Prix, making its first ever appearance in Formula 1 back in 1986. And we also call it Monaco without the barriers. Will we tonight see our third different race winner? My name is Jess Ball, and joining me once again in the commentary box is Mr. James Head. James, how you doing?
I am doing really, really well, Jess. Yeah, Hungary is going to be very interesting tonight. Off the back of another good race, of course, last week in Qatar, where, of course, we had Erpek take his first ever win in PSF1. I think drivers, though, are going to be hungry for more.
They are definitely going to be hungry for more. Hopefully they won't put it into the barriers. But let's have a look at the drivers' standings. We can see Max currently on top on 28 points. The last two races for him have been absolutely fantastic. And let's just hope he's going to be able to continue where he started at the beginning of the season with his first win of the season in Japan. And then he got a podium in Qatar. Erpek, last week's race winner. And what a win it was. It was so close between himself and Max, but Erpek just got the win in the end. And he's only 8 points behind Max in the championship, so can go either way. Will Erpek be able to probably do a repeat of what we saw Mr. Jerry Van Bussel do last season, convert his F2 title to an F1 title? We got Ray in there in third. Now we got Sammy Chemzi in fourth position. Now, for those of you that are wondering who he is, he's Sam Gamer. He recently signed to Veloce Academy, and congratulations to him, by the way. It's his first race under the Veloce name in PSGL F1, so good luck to him. We've got Volakonga just behind him on 10 points, 2 points behind. Louis in 6th on 9 points. Markados in 7th on 8, and then we got Jeroen in 8th on 8th as well. Then joint 9th, we got Marlon and Bender, and then we got Nando, Cameron Dowds, Tom, Kazidor Moborat, Lars, Francesco, Keke, Ryan and Ryderdale completing your top 20. But Max and Erpek, they're looking pretty close, especially after last week.
Yeah, definitely. So I think Max is the full man. Obviously, they'll been out in front, first and second for his name so far this season. Complete comparison to last season, where he was just completely not at home with the tracks, not at home with his setups either, and certainly not at home with the game, because Max struggled last season. And now to see him at the top end of the standings, I think absolutely deserving so. Urpek, of course, taking that race win, albeit from a Max mistake late on, coming through 10:15 on the final lap of the race. Max, of course, coming second, but it was a real drag to the line. A little bit longer, I think Max probably would have got him. But it sets up really nicely, I think, for this race. Sami Chemsi, of course, coming in. Now Veloce signing for Veloce Academy. Veloce Academy, I'm sure, we're going to be in the chat as well, which is very, very nice to have them on board, and even proves that big names do follow in the world of league racing and in the world of sim racing as well. And to bear with as well, in terms of the stewards reports from last week, Tom on lap 1, he got his warning removed. 5 warnings instead of 6, so his 3-second time penalty got removed after being incorrectly awarded a warning, after being unfairly forced off track. And Kazizel the same thing as well. Lap 29, the polar opposite, right at the end of the race, his warning was removed, 2 warnings instead of 3, and a 3-second time penalty removed. And that was because he was incorrectly awarded a warning after being unfairly forced off the track as well. From an Urpek kept the win, Max in second, and Volokongan, the last time he came here, of course, in season 33, Volokongan took the win around here. He finished third last week.
Yeah, so Volokongan looking good. We are going to keep an eye, of course, on who is doing well around here. We obviously asked at the beginning of the season who potentially could do well around here as well. We will briefly touch on our Constructors' Championship, because why not? It's on the same page. So we got AlphaTauri on 33 points, Williams on 25, Red Bull on 24 points, McLaren on 14, Mercedes on 13. We've got Alfa Romeo on 9, Aston Martin on 8, Ferrari on 5, and Alpine and Haas are the only 2 teams yet to score this season in season 35. So that's not ideal for them, but they still got plenty of time for the season still to go. So we've got short qualifying then still to go with an 80-minute qualifying session, and whoever's fastest out of that will get pole position. So who's going to be the first driver out on track? Is one of the McLarens. It's the new Veloce man, Sammy. So there he is, heading towards turn 1 for the first time as well. So good to see him out there representing Veloce for the first time. And we got one of the Ferraris who's getting very close. I think that's Nando. No, it's not Nando. It's the other Ferrari as well. But only one reserved tonight. We have got Cornet, also known as Corey. He's filling in for Lars, who can't make it tonight. So nice to see how he could do. Bearing in mind, last time I commentated on him, he was in PSF2, and now he's back in PSF1 after doing a couple of seasons in PCF3. So he's doing what Cameron Dowles did. He didn't like PC that much, so he's returning to PSF1. Good to have him back, Cornet.
Yeah, definitely. So he's lost his way a little bit, to be honest, obviously from the PlayStation side, transitioning then to PC, and then he's done the Cameron Dowds thing, coming back on PC to PS, and it's all about finding his grip, finding his level against some of these guys. Now, of course, Cornet is a former champion here in PSGL, and I think by now, everyone will have overtaken him. So Corey's basically got to try and get back up to the real heights that he had formerly in PSGL. But you mentioned there, Sammy is going to be one of the first out on track, as is Mubarak, who is the other Ferrari out on track, and he's now coming through the final corner. We'll run on board with him on through the final corner through turn number 14, on the run now down in towards turn number 1, and Mubarak, of course, fresh from a very, very good race result in midweek last week, as now comes through the right-hander of turn number 1. Third gear coming through there. If you saw the Evan Rosberg masterclass a little bit earlier on, you realise our fourth gear is not taken through there. As Mubarak now comes down the hill in toward the left-hander of turn number 2, and then in towards this very twisting section, coming through the right-hander of turn number 3, and now uphill on the uphill rising towards turn 4 and 5. And it's looked good so far from Mubarak. 27 flat from him. Runs wide though coming through turn number 4, and that is what we're talking about in terms of track notes. And that is a track limits and validation for him. So easy to do coming through that corner.
Yes, it is. So let's see if we could go on board with Sammy to see if he's on a lap time. Yes, he is on a lap. So we will carry on with him currently as well as you're heading towards the middle part of the lap. Bearing in mind, this double chicane, it is very, very tight on this game. They can produce a few bumps. So the driver's obviously got to keep an eye out on that. You're passing towards turn 11 now. Lift off the throttle slightly. Brake hard and downshift to second gear into turn 12. And then you're going to keep to the right a little bit as you head towards turn 13. There we go, as he plants the car very nicely indeed. Stay close to the inside curve as you head towards turn 14. And as you approach the final corner, make sure you smoothly accelerate out of it. And there's the first lap time on the board of 1:14.922. And then we got Kazizel. That is closely matched by Max as well. And then Nando goes faster. Anything that you could do, I could do better, it looks like, in this lobby. We got Aurelian, who's heading to exiting the final corner. We got one of the Aston Martins of Ryan, 1:15.009. Volokon, of course, alone, 1:15.1. And then we got Aurelian with a 1:15.006. So times looking like they're thick and fast currently at the moment. And let's see what Marlon could do now. The Williams, who's looking good in the constructors after Peck's win last week, can he manage ninth, James?
He could do indeed, yeah. It's going to be very interesting to see how he gets on. And now coming through the left-hand of turn number 13 on ball with him. Nando, Kazizel, Max currently the top three. Yeah, Markador's looking to try and get up there. Benza now goes quick. It's 14.6. Compared to everyone else at a 14.8, he has had his Weetabix, put it that way, in the AlphaTauri. Nando there in second, Kazizel there in third, Markador there going in ninth, Ryan there in eighth position ahead of him. But look at how close it is, actually. Aurelian all the way down to Louis Valentin is covered by, 800ths of a second, that is, between 5-6 drivers, even with Bolokongan including that as well. But Benza's out on top. Mubarak now going second. He, interestingly, actually went for second run on his lap, so went for that run, went quickest, and goes ahead of Nando there going second. Ferrari's looking very strong, but Benza, 14.6. I'm not sure what they've been feeding them in outplayed racing, but put it this way, I want a bit of it.
Yeah, I have to say, Benza doing a lot better this season and is scoring quite a few points there and there. So hopefully, maybe he can translate his form going into tonight as well. He got a P6 last time out in Qatar, which was, I have to say, one of his best results in the league as well. He's always fared well in Qatar as well. So we'll see that if he could translate that into the race. We had two different race winners so far. Will we get a third here tonight at the Hungaroring if they avoid the walls too much? Francesco, I think, was going to go on another push lap, but he is invalidated. We got some interesting stats about some other seasons. Of course, we talked about Volokongan, who won last season in season 33 with Rowan in second. Aurelian did all right here. He finished third last when we were here a couple of seasons ago. Season 33 was where we were last here. So we expect him to go well, even though he's sitting in 8th. So he's got a lot of work to do in that Red Bull. Season 30, Ismail Fassi taking victory. Obviously, the Williams Esports driver. We got Chiquita in second, Basilio in third. Obviously, none of those guys racing PSGL now. Season 26, we saw the veterans race there. We got Wilson Hughes took victory from Prenent and Matthias Van Erven in third. And then season 21, you can tell PSGL hasn't raced here that often, have they? Louis Welsh, the pad goat, took victory there from Matthew Aldo in second and Igor Blocks in third. That's the first time I said that name in a PSGL broadcast in a long time. I do believe he still races at PSGL. I can't remember what tier exactly, but yeah. He did race in PSGL F1 and he was looking quick then.
Yeah, it's an ultimate throwback, I think, to season 21 with Little Blocks getting the podium around here. Yaron, however, is on a lap. A man that is looking to try and get a bit of retribution from season 33. And a 27.5 in the first sector is not too bad at all from the Red Bulls. And that comes through Car Killer Corner, as I'm going to call it, through turn number 5. It's now in towards the chicane of turns 6 and 7. And this is looking very, very neat, I've got to say, so far from Yaron. Want to try and get up there. Pole position, by the way, in terms of F2. I'll come on to that in a second. I did have it up, but I've just gone off the screen. But Yaron out and Spencer out on top of Barak second, Nando there in third. But Yaron's a 53.9 in the middle sector. Absolutely miles off. He must have made a mistake somewhere through the opening corners, maybe through turn 1 or 2, because this would look like a shocking lap, I've got to be honest, from the Red Bull. Now coming through the right-hander, might be taking the Macho approach and the Ferrari approach in F2, where they actually went for another run, like Mubarak did a little bit early on, but a 15.3, Yaron is a lot quicker than that around here. That needs to be, at least, I think, 6-7 tenths more improvement, I think, in terms of what he should show around here.
Yeah, because I am expecting the drivers to be about 5-6 tenths of each other, because we saw how tight the corners were in Qatar and how close it was then, and we weren't even expecting it to be that close as well. But there was quite a few drivers when we were speaking to them in the driver fort, so we always ask them every week, and some of them do struggle. Jeroen said he finds it a boring track. Volokongan said he likes it in qualifying, but he finds it quite boring in the race. Markador said it's a track where it's not easy to overtake, and he thinks that qualifying is going to be very, very important. And that is a really important factor. Tracks like Monaco and Hungary, where it's hard to overtake, if you don't get a good qualifying, unless you're a master at Hungary, it's going to be really hard to gain those positions in the race. So if you're the likes of Volokonga, Marlon, Jeroen, Keke, if you're right at the back, I think you're going to struggle to make your way up unless it rains.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So I've just put the PSGL pole position in, by the way. 1:14.606. We're slightly off that at the minute. Tom is getting blocked, actually, by one of the McLarens on the run to the line. He goes 8th position. 14.9, got a bit of slipstream there. Well, I think it was one of the Veloce Academy driver in Sami Chemsi there, going there in 6th position, just on a lap, because this is on a lap as well. But Ben's are out on top. Mubarak second, Nando there in third. It's looking very interesting so far. Covers, of course, took pole position in PSF2, 4.5 tenths of a second, covering every single driver in that lobby. They had 2 restarts as well, which is why they're only halfway through the race at this stage. But Benza from Mubarak, from Ryan, the top 3. Kazizel, though, was looking strong on this lap. The karting experience coming into play. Now comes through the left-hander, the turn number 13, now through the right-hander, the turn number 14. It looks like I actually might have made a mistake coming through that part of the track. Now coming toward the line, though, with Kazizel. Made a slight mistake, but a 14.7, very much a solid lap from him. Ryan as well, just starting up on a run, and Benza 1300ths down, looking to try and improve as well. He's now on the run to the line in the AlphaTauri. Does he go any quicker?
Nope.
No, 600ths down. Mubarak there in second, Ryan there in third. Ryan is definitely down in his lap, as Louis Valentin there has just popped himself into 5th.
Louis Valentin looking very good, and these type of tracks really suit his favour. Remember Monaco? He is the king of Monaco. He's won quite a few races in many leagues. We're not going to say which leagues they are, but we do know that Louis likes twisty tracks like this. Ooh. So keep an eye on him, as we got a lot of yellow flags happening everywhere. That's just people moving out the way. Borat, by the way, is looking to improve even more as he heads towards turn 3 and 4. As he goes up the hill now, we'll see how his sector 1 is coming up very shortly as well. And these curves could be very deadly, and watch out for that exit curve just before turn 5. You can see quite a few invalidations there, as I found out when I've done a few races here around Hungary, and I'm sure James has found out there when he's picked up a few penalties, as Marlon has retired from the session. That looks like from the middle of turn 2, so he was struggling there. Well, Brock struggling on his lap, so the track is definitely treacherous. The drivers were saying in their thoughts that it was tricky. They weren't wrong.
Yeah, definitely. So Francesco's actually just coming through that part of the lap. Judging by where the wheel is on the left-hand side, he's got caught and bottomed out on that outside curb, and he's just spun the car coming through turn number 2. Very easy to do. I've actually done that around 2 in my league race, so I finished P12. And Francesco, speaking of which, has just spun coming through turn number 5 as I ride a ball with him. He went 9th position. Luckily, he wasn't on a lap, but he has just spun, and it comes to show very low-level grip in terms of the tyres around here will send the car spinning around. Urpek, by the way, went 8th position. Francesco there in 9th. I'm just going to come on to the fact that both of them set exactly the same middle sector, 53.444 in that middle sector from both of them. So watch out for them if they can improve in the first and the final sectors. Aurelien now going second, though, in the Red Bull. He's looking very, very strong there, the Frenchman. Benza, though, the one out on top. Aurelien in second, Mubarak there in third. And Jess, of course, here in PSF1, it's going to be very interesting to see how everyone gets on. Of course, Volokongan out on top. Aurelien finishing in third in season 33. That was 2 seasons ago. Rowan splitting the pay that day. Volokongan at the minute, 17th. Aurelien in second. Polar opposites to their race in season 33.
Yeah, and it just goes to show different games can change people's factors around tracks. I remember we were talking off stream because I have a race in Singapore tomorrow, how you absolutely hated, James, Singapore on the last game, but you absolutely love it on this game. I think when I started playing the F1 games back in 2018-19 probably, I hated Singapore with a passion, but I think it was around about F1 2021 when I began to love it, and I do love it ever since. As Nando, by the way, is purple in the middle sector as he goes through the penultimate few corners as well, uses that right-hand side to good measure, and this is the track where we saw Damon Hill won his first race here. Jenson Button won his maiden victory here too.
Wow.
As Nando 1:14.5, we've hit and smashed the F2 pole time, and that was absolutely brilliant from him. Morborak only slots himself into 4th place. Let's see if anyone else can improve. We've got Max, who is currently leading the championship. He's our biggest surprise at the moment, James. He's only in P13.
Not for long, 53.2, fastest out of everyone in the middle sector, 13th currently. He's definitely not going to be there for that long, and I think he can find about 3/10 in this final sector as well, so Max is looking very, very strong on this lap. Oh, has a slight moment coming down at turn 13, now to the right-hander at turn number 14, taking my line through there, very thin line, adjacent to the pit wall, now on the run to the line. That mistake costly, goes third though, of 14.636, and ahead by 200ths of a second ahead of a rally, and Jeroen, I think, is on a lap as well. He's actually just backed off a lap at this moment in time. Louis Valentin, though, has just started on one in the Alfa Romeo. He's there in 13th position. Nando though out on top, Benza second, Max there in third. Louis Valentin through the first sector is a 26.9, and he's just nearly invalidated. Luckily got away with it coming through turn number 5. But Louis Valentin is scorching the turf and scorching the tarmac here in Hungary. Watch out for him. He's going to leap up the field very strongly in this lap.
This is interesting for Louis because we've got 3 minutes and 40 seconds left to go in qualifying. I'm about to ask everyone in the chat, including yourself, James, with predictions. He's only going to have 1 lap to do it in because he's not going to have time to go again unless he's going to do what Morborak did earlier on in the session, do a cool-down lap and then go again, because that's the only chance you'll be able to improve. So that surely suggests that people may not need the softs for the race. But imagine if there's a safety car. Louis going to exit the final corner. It's going to be a good lap, P2, but I think that's his only lap to do it. I think unless he can do a cool-down lap and go again, because you have to go out within 2 minutes 15, but you'll still be out on track then. He's going to be in a whole world of pain. But here we go. We've got drivers coming out of the circuit. We've got Sam and we got the Mercedes. I think that might be Volakongan. Yes, it is Volakongan. Two of them seem to follow each other, it seems, around Hungary. Let us know your opinions in the chat. I know it's not many of you at the moment, because I know quite a few of you are watching F2, but why not watch both of them at the same time? Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell if you are new. And also, if you are interested, make sure you check out our title sponsor, GT Mega. 5% off all GT Mega products by using the code PSGL at checkout. So, who is going to get pole? Let us know. I'm going to throw you under the bus, James, and you're going to guess first. Who is your pick for pole?
Well, we've got an illegal blocking penalty. Francesco got a 5-second penalty.
Not surprised.
It was inevitable around this track. That's coming through, I think, turn number 5 where he's picked that up. But I'm going to go a little bit rogue. I think Benza is going to go pole position. He's there in third. That was his only lap, actually, that he set. 14.6. That's still his first run. If you can get a lot of good exit of the corners and he can find a bit of improvement through the first sector, I think he'll be going pole position. So Benza for me for pole.
I'm going to be very, very bold here as well. Max absolutely pretty much butchered the final sector. He wasn't that great, whereas the first 2 sectors he was awesome. So there's still time to be found for Max. So I think I'm going to predict Max for pole position. So what do you think? It'll be good to see your thoughts in the chat, as we got Sammy, who's going to be heading towards the final corner as he starts his final lap. The first man to do so, and he'll be the first man to cross the checkered flag. Volakongan also on a lap as he's going to do so. Actually, he's going to be the first to cross the checkered flag. So let's see what his sector 1 time is currently, as he's looked very, very good in Hungary. Don't forget he took the win last season, well, a few seasons ago. He's only a few 100s up, and that's only going to put him around about the rider down Markados area currently. We'll see what Salmon does currently right now. He's about a few 100s up, but that's enough to get him purple in the first set. This is looking very, very good for the Veloce Academy man. But let's go back to Volakongan as he exits the double chicane, and he heads towards the back straight here as well. Be careful not to run too wide. He's found 2/10 in the middle sector. That is huge for him. He can't afford to lose it in the final sector. And what happened there?
I was on board with Sammy. Sammy was up in the middle sector, but he's invalid out of turn number 11. Such a shame. He was looking so strong on that lap. Kongen is on the run to the line, though. Pops himself into 8th position. Very, very good lap from him. He was a 10th up through the middle sector, Sammy. Let's see what he would have done as he now comes to the line. 14.528. Look where I would have put him. Pole position. Absolute shame, but Benza is improving. Benza 700's up on the run to the line. Goes quickest, 14.533. How do you like them apples? Nando was down on a lap. He is done. Max is coming through the first sector, and he is a 26.9 through the first sector. Very competitive first sector for Max. Mubarak 27 flat in the first sector. He's one to watch out for as well. Down in 7th. His middle sector split is just incoming, so bear with me a second as Mubarak now comes through this middle sector. 53.4. He's lost complete and utter time through that middle sector. Nando obviously down on that lap. Max is now coming through this middle sector. It's Benta on top. Mubarak, though, is out coming through turn number 13, which is a shame. Max is down in the middle sector. This is not looking good for the man in the AlphaTauri. Is his teammate going to be out on top? Is Benza going to take pole position? And am I going to be cashing this to the bank as he now comes through the left-hander of turn number 13 and then through the right-hander of turn number 14 does Max. Now comes through the final corner. The championship leader, like the pole position on the line, doesn't do enough. Goes 4th, and it's Benza out on top. Nando there in 2nd, and Aurelian there in 3rd, and I got that right.
Well done, James. You get a gold star for that. Congratulations. But Benza came out of absolute nowhere. We wasn't expecting him to do well tonight here at Hungary, and he's like, you know what? Beat me. Absolute beat me. And it's only a few 100ths difference between himself and Nando. It is an OP 1-2. We got Aurelian in 3rd and we got Max in 4th. I'm really excited to see how that's going to translate into the race. So make sure you stay tuned because we are not done yet. We still got 35 laps of racing still to go. And we are about to get the qualifying results so we can see how the other drivers have done. And then we'll give you a brief analysis as to what happened, which drivers do we think would have deserved better, and which ones have very, very impressed. So, Benza out on top by 27 thousandths. Nando in P2, Aurelian in 3rd, Max in 4th, Louis in 5th, Markados in 6th, Stefano in 7th, Mubarak 8th, Sam in 9th, for the Conga in 10th, then we've got Ryan, Erpek, Jeroen, Kazidl, Keke, Francesco. Well, he will get that 5-second penalty removed, and I can confirm we will have a lobby restart. Then we got Tom, Ride It Out, Corey, and Marlon. But before we go into the racing action, let's have a quick word from our title sponsor, GT Omega. We will see you in 30 seconds. Welcome back to PSGL Season 35. We're back once again for Hungary. And just to have a quick rundown of what happened in qualifying, we saw Benza take his first pole position. And it was his one and only lap. He absolutely dominated the field today in qualifying, which translates to, if you do well in qualifying around Hungary, you're more than likely going to do well in the race unless you get involved in an incident as well. Benza obviously scored P6 last time out in Qatar. Can he do 6 places better, do you think?
Potentially so. It's going to be a struggle around this track, let's just face it. I think you've got to be ideally within the front 2 or 3 rows of this grid to try and really have a feature here in Hungary. It's Monaco without the barriers, as we mentioned in our notes. And it's definitely like that around here as well. And personally, I mean, 800th of a second covering the top 5 is absolutely epic, by the way. Fantastic stuff by everyone. Everyone, by the way, is retired in the lobby, so we're going to get this really, really quickly done in terms of a lobby restart. But Benza out on top. He has the advantage. Nando there in 2nd. I think mentioned in his notes that he hasn't practiced that much. I'm pretty sure we got something from Nando a little bit earlier on. I can't find actually his... Oh, actually, he didn't provide any notes, so that's why I can't find anything about him. Benza, though, out on top, a 14-5. I got that prediction right, so if that's anything to go by, we're in for a good night.
Yeah, and I think usually there's people good at predictions. One of them is George Morgan in Rensport, and then the other one is Mr. James Head, it looks like, because it seems to me, every time I seem to predict someone, they tend to do absolutely rubbish and absolutely bin it. But I think I predicted quite a few drivers to do well last week, but just not the right ones in that. So there we go. But there's certain drivers who I was expecting to do well, that probably didn't. We got the likes of Kazizzle. Has won before in PSF1, only going to be starting in 14th. Erpek, last week's race winner, only going to be starting in 12th spot. He even said on Twitter that this is going to be his first Hungary race on F123, and he doesn't look that confident compared to other tracks. And what is going to be his mindset going into this, considering he hasn't raced around this track before on this game?
It's going to be all new to him. I think he's probably done a lot of practice coming into tonight, and him being down in 12th position is a bit of a shock, but he's only 2.5 tenths off Benza in qualifying, and qualifying is one thing, the race is definitely another thing, and Erpek there in 12th. I think he'll be buoyed though. He's got the likes of Sam Gamer ahead of him. He's got the likes of Mubarak there in 8th position as well. Those will be the targets, I think, for him in the early stages of the race. Volokongan, of course, race winner last time out. He starts 10th. And Erpek there in 12th. It's going to be really interesting to see. Jeroen there, watch out for him down at 13th. And in the end, we had, top 15, I think, covered by 2.5 tenths per second, top 16, even including Francesco. We are getting the lobby restart, by the way, very shortly indeed. The lobby is just literally going to be the one that we're in, which is really good, saves time. But down in 17th position, Tom, down in 17th, not normally a one that likes this track, and it's proven, 14.9 in that qualifying lap time. 17 from him, Rodadell there in 18th, a bit of a shocker as well, and Marlon down in 20th, at 15.2. Not sure where he has been looking. He was saying, though, in his notes that Hungary is all about qualifying, so we'll struggle today, but that will make the best out of it as always. You've got to make the best out of it if you're 25th position, put it that way.
Yes, we have seen people have gone from a last two position before in PSGL and do well. Remember, Tom did it in Austria. I think it was a couple of seasons ago, actually. No, it was last season. It was last season where he went from last to first. So it's not over for any of these drivers, and this grid is super close. But anything can happen. But as we were saying earlier, it is not easy to overtake around here. Ideally, you want to be overtaking in towards turn 1 or anything towards turn 2 and 3. And then that's it. There's not many other places where you can overtake as well. And another issue that I brought up as well, tyre wear. Compared to other tracks, the tyres degrade so much quickly, even compared to Qatar as well. And you don't really want to be using the softs around here. We did see people use it in F2. I think some people may want to go on the hards for a bit longer just so they can go onto the mediums for shorter at the end. But again, it does depend on the safety car. Corners and curves as well, especially around turn 4 and turn 5. I did point that out in the hot lap. People can run right through that, and it's absolutely deafening if you hit it. You're going to probably end up into a spin, and you will lose the back end absolutely massively. And I think I'm going to predict the winner of this race is going to be the one who gets the less penalties, because track limits is another key factor.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, well, don't take a trip out of my book, because I picked up 11 seconds worth of penalties around here and had a 5-second penalty. The speed in the pit lane, even though it was 49 mile an hour, and the speed lane, of course, here is 50 mile an hour. So that was an absolute shame for me. Avatar mentioned in the chat, by the way, actually a good point, because I've been experiencing this as well on my end. Why do I have problems with the contrast of the video image? I reload and reload again and again. Problem with the same quality. I believe that is a YouTube issue. There's been a lot of buffering issues in the past with YouTube. Normally, to fix it, you can just go into the settings, little cog icon on the stream, wherever you're watching it from, either on laptop or PC or on tablet. And you can go on the cog icon, and then it says quality. And if you're up, for me, it says auto 480p. So it's not really good quality if you want to watch a stream like this. You want to see everything in its finities. So go to higher picture quality, and then you back up to 720p high, and then hopefully it'll just fix itself as the night goes on. But yeah, there's been a lot of issues with YouTube about that. But the drivers are already up now within the lobby, Jess. It's going to be really interesting. You mentioned there as well about F2. 9 drivers on a set of softs, 10 on a set of hards, the only one on a set of mediums, OP covers, and he was the man that was on pole position. So watch out for a few strategy calls that are going to be a bit off the cuff. But I personally think softs to hards around here isn't too bad at all, because that's actually the kind of strategy that I wanted to do in League of Europe, apart from, well, at range.
Well, to be honest, I've raced here in around Hungary on the hards, and I actually feel pretty good. So I can understand if people want to go onto the hardcore amount of tyres. It is a really good race tyre compared to other tracks. Obviously, Singapore is also a track where you can run the hards very well, but lots of other tracks, if you have a choice, you wouldn't want to go on the hard at all. But it is PSGL. You have to use the hards at some point, because otherwise you have to go for a 2-stop race. So this is going to be a race where we could see varying strategies, and I can't wait. So before we go, let's have a little plug on some key things. Make sure you check our title sponsor, GT Omega. We're sitting in these lovely comfy chairs. Once again, 5% off all GT Omega products by using the code PSGL at checkout, or using the command !GT Omega in the chat. Or you can click the link in the description for more information. Also, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at PremierSimGL. Also follow us on Discord to keep up to date with all PSGL news as well. We don't just be streaming on a Monday. PC are streaming on a Thursday as well at 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. And of course, we got the E-Series at 7 p.m. on Wednesday night with Nathan Richards and Joshua Birch take you through that one. So we're not short of PSGL action, and good news, we're about to get underway. But now it's time for the drivers to hopefully remember their setup.
Hopefully remember their setups, and unlike last week, hopefully remember what car they're in as well. Keki, I'm looking at you. But hopefully the track is going to be, this race is going to be really, really good. We've had 2 good races so far this season in both Japan and in Qatar. It's going to be really interesting, I think, to see how everyone is going to cope. Kongan, of course, last taking the victory round here in season 33, 2 seasons ago on the last game cycle. Rowan finished second, and a bit of a shock, actually, for him finishing in second, and Aurelian finishing in third, and Aurelian, I believe, is up there in third in qualifying, so he is definitely one to watch for in this race. I think, though, Nando is the man that's going to take this forward. He hasn't had a lot of practice coming into tonight. You don't need a lot of practice, though, if you're second around here in qualifying. Nando, for me, for the win.
And usually if you're starting P2 around here, getting the run towards turn 1 is very essential, and maybe this is Nando's chance to potentially, if you want to, go for the gamble, start on the soft tyres, potential chance of an early safety car, potentially, and then you could go to a set of hards to the end, bing, bam, boom. Or maybe you could go into a set of mediums and then hards. It is a potential. It obviously does depend on what safety cars, if any, happen. We've hardly had any this season due to the really good quality high standards that we had at PSGL, PSF1 so far, but I can possibly guarantee it might change going into tonight, because every race I've commentated around Hungary has always been absolute chaos. Same with my races as well. I think James can vouch for that as well. So if these guys could keep it clean, then it just goes to show the calibre of talent that we have as well in PSF1. We see many PS drivers that have gone on to many great things in the world of F1 esports, now known as F1 sim racing, and we are about to get underway, hopefully. I do see some soft tyres in certain garages, James, including one Red Bull.
Yeah, your own, I think, has selected the sort of soft compound tyres. Looking further down, I can't really see what else anyone is on. Drivers have been told, though, to ready up at 34. It is 34 now, so you should see the 5 red lights going out very, very shortly indeed. It's going to be an interesting one. It's dry all race as well, so no threat of rain here in Hungary. Let's see how the drivers are going to cope here with the trials, the tribulations, and hopefully they're hungry for a bit of success around here as well.
And how many safety cars do you think we'll get, James?
We'll get 1 by turn 5, put it that way.
Let's just see then. We're about to get underway. 5 red lights are on your screen right now. And we are underway. Let's see if Bender gets a very good start. Nando gets a very good start as well, as predicted. But Bender covers off very, very nicely. They all make their way towards turn number 1. Nando and Aurelian to the inside. Look at Aurelian start. He started from 3rd place. It's going to be 3 wide as they head towards turn 2 and 3. But Bender managed to hold on to the lead. And we got a VSC, and it's trouble at the back, James.
There is Volakongan, Marlon, Corey, I think, all caught up in that. Marlon certainly got damage on the left side end plate. I think Volakongan has got no front wing. That's why we've got a VSC out on track. I literally said about 30 seconds ago, we'll get a safety car before turn 5. That's exactly what we've got, albeit a VSC, but it's Bender out on top. Nando there in second and running there in third. All of that, I think, spawned from Keki having a bit of contact there. And I'm just trying to stay on board with the Alfa Romeo. If he's got any damage, he hasn't. I think he's got away with it, but he was caught up in that instant with Volakongan. Volakongan caught up in the same instant. Both of them have got a 5-second penalty. Of course, that'll be added onto their time at the end of the race, but of course, they've got to make pit stops before then, so that'll be removed by the end of the race for sure. But it's Bender out on top, Nando second, and running there in third. What shocked me, though, off the start, most drivers in the top 10 on a set of soft compound tyre. Very, very strange strategy call, but they know best.
Yeah, they know best, or you never know, there could be some threat of rain on the horizon. That's probably why they've probably gone for self-softs, or they think that we could see safety cars. Or, if we don't get any of those, they're probably going to regret their decisions. Or maybe, as you were saying, they know best as we're going green, green, green once again for the second time as Bender tries to get a good getaway so far. But look at Louis Valentine. He's going to try and battle with the Aston Martin on Margados. But we got the fight for the lead as Nando takes the lead from Bender in towards turn number 1. But can Bender fight back in towards turn 2 and 3? Here he comes in to the left-hand side. Nope, he cannot. But Louis Valentine and Margados fighting once again. Margados tries to go to the outside through 3 and 4, but it doesn't look like it's going to be in his favour. Canizel looking quite slow at the moment, but he's on a hard compound of tyres, and watch his pace improve just a little bit later on into the race. Same with Francesco as well. Keke has picked up a time penalty. We've got 2 people who've gone into the pit lane, which is Ryan and Volakongan. After their front wing damage, they're going to have to go onto a set of the hard compound of tyres, unfortunately. I think we're going to see more stewards reports here, unfortunately. But just look at how the top 6 are breaking free of everybody else. Same with Mubarak as well. Mubarak, I have to say, is doing very well to keep up with the soft runners on those medium tyres, James.
Yeah, definitely. So Mubarak is sticking with them, actually, on Markedos. Because Izzle, I think, albeit he's on a set of hard compounded tyres, he is struggling really, really bad on this compounded tyre right now. Probably not the tyre to be on at the start of the race. It's probably the set of softs you want to be on around here. Urpek there is all over the back of him in this second pack, in the second group. And then there's a split potentially from Francesco all the way down the field as well. That's going to happen. On the run towards turn number 1, nothing really going to happen apart from Urpek pulls the inside line now on the back of Kazezel in towards turn number 1. Should get the job done, has got the job done, and the Red Bull as well of your own coming from an absolute different parish as he makes contact there with Kazezel on the exit of turn number 1. But these set of mediums are just so fresh compared to the set of hards. This is your own's move every day of the week. Kazezel, though, to be fair, so much later on the brakes, and actually he repays the favour. Shuts me up, certainly in terms of the commentary. Kazezel there in 9th, your own there in 10th. Nice battle between them both, and the battle of the late breakers. Kazezel certainly has got the brakes on him in that McLaren, as the Veloce Academy man of Sammy Chemsey is into the pit lane. 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit, and I wonder if he's going to go on to a set of hards. No, he retires from the race. Sam out of the race early on, such a shame. Nando the lead, Bender second, Aurelian there in third.
That is unfortunate for Sam to end his race like that, but hopefully he can recover in a couple of weeks' time, because we're on a break week next week, so nobody will be racing next week. But we got a few predictions in the chat that's saying that Nando could potentially win this race. That is a very good statement at the moment, because he is keeping clear of Bender right now, 4/10 per second. But bearing in mind, DRS is activated this lap, and we can see if Bender is able to really go guns a-blazing and get past him. But there's someone that's going guns a-blazing right now as Jeroen gets past Cadillo up into 9th place on those sets of medium compound tyres. And you're just watching Cadillo trying to keep him in this DRS train, but it's not working out for him at the moment. Marlon, by the way, up into 15th place. He's got past Tom. And unsurprisingly, that worked because he was on a set of mediums, or maybe just a quick driver as well. But look at Bender up front. He's 2/10 behind Nando. He's looking very quick on the corners, which strongly suggests, James, I wonder if Nando is running a setup which requires less downforce compared to everybody else.
I think so, but Nando is pulling away in the middle sector, so I think he might be the one that's actually running a little bit more downforce. He's just using a little bit of ERS there, actually, Bender, on the exit coming now through turn 11. It's looking very good, though, if you're an OP fan right now, 1 and 2. And, of course, with tomorrow night on the horizon, it will be very interesting to see how they get on there. Matthew Hall, of course, part of that lineup from the Veloce Academy. He's saying softs will overheat, I'd imagine. I'd imagine they overheat as well. And, of course, Sela Rez, I think that is in the chat, in F12, softs last the max of 8 laps out on track. Now, we've got an hour notes. They're going to last around 16 laps. I don't believe that for 1 second. I think it's going to be very, very tight, as is a rally. And on the back of Benza through turn number 1, very, very close to the back end of the AlphaTauri. Rydell now getting the job done on Kazizel further down the field. So he's through and he's into 10th. And he has made very good ground from qualifying. What was it? 18th, I think he qualified. Rydell's already up to 10th position. Avoided all of that contact early on. He's doing a very, very good job so far. But Nando got an element of control out in front. Benza there in second and rallying there in third. But yeah, like Matthew Hall, I'd be very worried about this set of soft compound tyre. The harder you go on these tyres early on, the more you're going to suffer and the more likely it is for a two-stop around here.
Yeah, and that is why Nando's probably in a better position, because he's able to tyre save a bit more because he's in front. But if you're the likes of Benza on Aurelian, you will be even more worried. Same with Max as well in that sandwich. So you're probably going to hope and pray that something happens to the people behind you to potentially go on to a set of the hard tyres and not worry about the undercut strategy as well. But I won't be surprised to see the ones in the mid-pit first out of those soft tyres compared to obviously the likes of Nando and Benza who's trying to break free out of everybody else. But I think around about lap 8, we will expect to see potentially our first pit stops. But let's see what Ben's going to do heading towards turn 1. He's not going to go for the move yet. Same with the rally in there, saving some ERS for later on in this stint, because you don't want to be using up too much, because again, it's another track where ERS management is key. We saw that in Qatar. Meanwhile, Stefano and Francesco going side by side, heading towards the turn 2 and 3. Oh, they make a bit of contact there as they almost go off the track. Well, Stefano does go off the track, believe it or not. Stefano is down into 13th place. Francesco up into 12th as they head towards up the hill in towards turn 4 now. And I won't be surprised to see a couple of warnings from some of these guys already through that exit. But no one is able to make any headways currently near the front. So that is something to keep an eye on as we head into the first third of this race. Avatar's saying that he's predicting Mubarak to be a dark horse, which could be quite interesting. I think Urpet's going to be a dark horse. I know he's the second leading man on the mediums, but I think he's just saving his tyre life right now. He's not pushing that much. And then once the softs start to die, that's when he can start pushing and he can really close in onto the likes of Mubarak and maybe catch up to maybe be the net race leader this race. So I'm going to keep my close eye on last week's race winner of Urpek. He's had a really great race so far, and let's hope he can keep this up.
Well, here's the dark horse from Mubarak, actually on the back of Marquinhos in towards turn 1. Marquinhos a little bit late on the brakes. I think there was a bit of contact actually there with Louis Valentin on the back end from the Aston Martin. Just a little bit of a rub, but enough to just send the car offline coming through turn number 1. And Louis Valentin holds 5th. Marquinhos there in 6th. Mubarak there in 7th. Mubarak, though, looking very, very strong, I've got to say, on the set of medium compound tyres earlier on. And I've certainly got to say, he is looking very, very good in terms of his ERS. You mentioned there with Urpek, he's not pushing, he is pushing. He's got 16% of ERS there just to try and get within ERS on the back of Mubarak. Now, he was basically 18 hundredths of a second off getting DRS the last time around. Now he's within 7/10. Now he can actually hold on a little bit, because everyone now is beginning to Constantino up. Louis Valentin is the one that could force the split in front, in there in 5th position. But Nando leading the way, Benza in 2nd. The front 2 just looking very, very nice in terms of their ERS, in terms of their race style so far. And we're only, a 6th of the way through the race here as well in Hungary. It's Nando from Benza, from Aurelian, from Max, the top 4. Then it's Louis Valentin, Marquinhos, Mubarak, Urpek, Jeroen, and Rydell top 10. Kazizel, Francesco, Stefano, Marlon, and Keki top 15. Of course, Keki with that 5-second penalty. Corey, Tom, Ryan, and Volokonga, the 19 drivers, continuing on out on track as here comes Mubarak again on the back of Marquinhos, closing in this time on towards turn number 1, and there goes the Swiss man to the inside line, but he loses half control through the curb. Never going to get that car stopped, my sonny Jim, and Marquinhos is there in 6th. Mubarak there in 7th. Couldn't get the car stopped. Good recovery though, because he could have easily made contact there.
Yeah, I have to say, good car control from Mubarak, because that could have almost been a trip to the wall. So I think he was counting his lucky stars. And there's one driver that hasn't got off quite as lucky as Morborak. It's Stefano. He's had a spin, and unfortunately he was unable to keep the car on the straight line. But I don't think he's got damage. No, he doesn't. So I think he himself is very, very lucky there as well. Volakongan, don't forget, he won round here, season 33, and he's down in 19th. So contrast to a few seasons ago, this is not where he wanted this race to go. It's one of his favourite tracks, but there's some points on the track where he finds that much difficult. That's probably why. But we are starting to see these soft tyres starting to lose grip. We're seeing the likes of Morborak and Urpek catching up to these softs quite quickly. Markados has jumped the gun and is going to go in first. I wonder what tyres he's going to be on. I assume he's going to go onto a set of the hard compounder tyres. I won't be surprised if it is the hard compounder tyres. But let's watch Morborak then, as he's been under pressure from Urpek this time. To be honest, James, that spin for the Ferrari man is definitely not helping him. And he's got a little bit of a squirm once again. It's going to be hard for Urpek to negotiate as he heads towards turn number 3. But I think he's deciding that the right thing to do is to back out as they head now towards turn 3. I'm getting my corners mixed up here. This is turn number 4.
It's easy to do around this track. It is literally come at you literally very, very quickly, like Mike Tyson trying to punch, I don't know, somebody in his heyday. I can't think of an opponent right now. But Nando Allen top ends a second, running there in third. You mentioned that Markados will go on a set of hards. He's done exactly what I thought he would do and go on to a set of softs and make it 2-stop towards the end of the race and then apply potentially on a set of mediums. So I think Markados is going to get a big undercut compared to everyone. On a set of soft compounder tyres, I found myself around this track, because I did the strategy around here before safety car came out, albeit, but Markados, they're in 17th. Set of soft compounder tyres, they can find about 3.5 seconds a lap around here, and that is at the initial phase, and already he's on the back of Stefano. That is how quick he catches there. On a set of soft compounder tyres, that is how quick a set of soft compounder tyres is around here. And he, when everyone else decides to come in the pit lane, Nando all the way down to Louis Valentine will have to come in the pit lane. Markados is going to have about a 6-7 second lead, and I'm not even jumping the gun with this. He potentially could be out in front, and he could potentially be gone, because if he goes on the set of mediums, tries everyone else, goes 2-stop, and has to catch the field late on, it's going to be a bit of a task, but Markados, I think, might just have that advantage from this undercut to carry him forward in the second half of the race.
Yeah, and we do know that Markados does like to make his way through the field and does it quite comfortably at times as well. But when he goes through the midfield, that's where he finds it a bit challenging sometimes. So I think he's going to rely on that undercut to really help him so he doesn't have to overtake a lot of drivers. And don't forget, last season, he was challenging for the title as well. He's not challenging for the title at the moment, but there's plenty more races still to go in this championship. It is not over for any one of these drivers to mount up a championship challenge. So if this is the race that Markados can really start his championship campaign, this could be the one. And he's already 6.6 seconds behind Tom. He's absolutely loving it on those soft tyres. And none of the ones on those softs now are coming in. And they've been on those tyres for 10 laps. And we said that the softs only last 8 laps, optimal pace. So they're probably going to be struggling. And I'm seeing Morborak and Urpek getting absolutely frustrated with them right now because they know that they're quicker. They know those tyres are a bit more durable. But because it's a track that's hard to overtake, it's all about track position. So imagine what Markados is going to be like trying to get past the likes of Tom. But we've seen how easy it is to get past Stefano. But the drivers in front of Markados are very quick drivers at their own right. So it's going to be tougher than Markados thinks, because we're seeing Morborak and Urpek struggling to even get past these lot.
Yeah, definitely. So, for a bit of comparison, actually, Nando there in the lead of the race, 1:18.1 is his current best lap time out on track. Markados has just done a 17.2 and is 9/10ths quicker than that personal best on a set of soft compounder tyres and is going arguably even quicker on this lap as well. The one thing that worries me, though, he's going to get a big undercut, but it's only if drivers new come into the pit lane ahead. They're now running a bit of a DRS train. Markados is having to use up those tyres, and those tyres are going to wear at about a 6.5% rate around here as well. So it is going to put those tyres under the strain for the next 6 or 7 laps, and then hope that drivers have pitted in enough for him to get that undercut later on in this race. It's going to be fascinating tactically, I think, to see how he gets on. But Nando out in front, Nobody, by the way, apart from Nando, actually, he's on 68% of EOS. I thought he would have saved a little bit more out in front. Benza there, full battery in behind, loving life at the minute in the AlphaTauri in second. Aurelian's the same, around 90% to slightly less, but he's got considerably more than Nando. Same with Max as well. He's got 95% of EOS around here. EOS management very, very critical around this track. At a time as well where the fuel later on in the race is very, very tricky to try and actually decipher. But it is Nando that leads. Ben's there in second. Aurelian there in third. And that comes through the left-hander of turn number 9, the right-hander through turn 9, then 10 and 11. But Nando's got an element of control. I said last week about Max, and then I was wrong.
Yeah, we saw that Max was potentially going to get past Urpet, didn't we? And Max was able to control his pace up front, but we know Urpet likes to save, and he pushes when he needs to. That's what he could do. But we thought that Max was going to win, and he didn't last week. But he wasn't bothered about not getting the win because he was still leading the championship. But I wonder what he's going to do now. He's got his main championship rival, Aurelian, in front of him, because Aurelian is in P3 in the championship, and those top 3 in the championship are not that far off at all. So we're going to keep an eye on them as well. Louis Valentin as well, not that far behind as well in terms of positions. So this is going to be very interesting, and this is not good news for Urpet, this being low down, because this could really hurt his championship chances with the fact that Matt is going to gain a huge amount of points on him, and even though we're only around 3, still there could be races that could potentially decide, if you had a worse race, Hungary could be one of them. I know we could see other tracks that might be worse than that, but you never know. It's too early in the season to call that currently as well. But we are about to approach half race distance. Make sure you do check out all of our sponsors. GT Omega 5% off all GT Omega products by using the code PSGL at checkout or using the link in the description. Now, I am still shocked that Nando or Benza are not coming into the pit lane. I'm liking PSGL PSF1 this season because last season... has Benza hit the back of Nando, James?
He has indeed. Nando was struggling in terms of the tyres. Yeah, he's in the pits. He was an absolute goner on those set of soft compounder tyres. Had to come in, and Benza now leads the way. Aurelian in second. They're pushing on in terms of another lap. Louis Valentin is also into the pit lane, along with Max and Nando just ahead. But that was inevitable. Nando's tyres literally went off like that, like literally a click of a finger. As now, looking down the straight, Markados is going to make the move on the back of Keki in towards turn number 1. He's in 11th position right now, not in a point-scoring place, but he is making very, very light work of these guys now on this set of soft compounder tyres. He's got Corey, lagging ahead of him, actually. Just a bit of lag there from him. Bit strange for Markados there in 11th. Now, his worry now is traffic first, and his tyres second. His tyres, I think, are going to come second. He's got Corey now ahead of him. Corey's going to do a fantastic job. He runs wide though coming out of turn number 4. Now through the right hand of turn number 5. Markados are going to try and jump on this in towards the chicane, perhaps in towards 6 and 7. But he pulls out of the slipstream, letting them know he's there. Tom now going for the move on the back of Keki. That's a lovely move, actually, from Tom. On the back there on Keki, both on the set of hards. They're fighting for position, 12th and 13th now gained. Benza and Aurelian will definitely in the pit lane. Markados, though, look at the gap that he gained, 7 or 8 seconds. I'm an absolute strategic masterclass around here in terms of the strategy. Is Markados dives it to the inside line. That's one way to get a move done. 30s and 10th.
And we got pit stops from the top 2, and more Borak as well has come into the pit lane. Now, I was expecting the soft runners to come into the pit lane right now, but I wasn't expecting more Borak to do that. So I wonder if he's going to do the opposite. Do a 2-stop, but do 2 softs. No. He's gone on for a set of hard compounder tyres. Yep. So he's going to do a 1-stop and potentially go into the end. So we got a couple of drivers on 2-stop strategies, a couple of drivers on 1-stop strategies, and we got people doing different set of tyres as well. Welcome to PSF1. This is not like what we saw last season on the last game where it was either hard to medium or medium to hard. This is what I like about F123. It's just, there's just so much variance in strategy. There's no right or wrong sometimes. Sometimes mediums to hards work out fine, but it does depend on the pace of the drivers. Sometimes starting on the softs is fine. Again, it does depend on the pace of the drivers. This is absolutely incredible. And we are now starting to see with the hard compounder tyres, it being the optimal tyre now. We did say, because it'll have to wait quite a bit of time to close in and try and eke out the performance in this car. And you can see, because it's closing up to the medium runners. I think the medium tyres are edging off, pretty much starting to fall on the edge of a cliff now, James?
Yeah, I think so, because I was going to mention, he's looking very good in this set of hard compound tyres. Everyone's going to continue on, though, on this set of mediums. I think to around lap 17, lap 18, so just after halfway stage is when they'll come in. Potentially, they could go for set of soft, but here comes Gazizzle, absolutely shot out of a cannon to the inside line, in towards turn 1. Job done for him. Marcos is getting the job done on his fellow German and Marlon, them two, of course, former rivals, as Marcos now through in towards the right-hander. Turn 1 gets the job done, and he's into 6th position. Of course, we've got Las Vegas coming up in 2 weeks' time after the break week. Break week, of course, next week, and it's a very handy break week, I've got to say, as well. And then, of course, we're in the midnight. We're on the Strip in Las Vegas, where Caesar's Palace is. Of course, real-life racing around there as well, as Corey again performing what can only be described as alien work right now in terms of his connection. He lagged behind Tom and Keki, and now he's ahead of them again. So Corey there back in 8th, Tom there in 9th, Keki there in 10th. But for Tom and Keki, they have got to be thinking, oh God, just get him out the way. He's got really bad connection right now. The least thing they could do is if that connection makes them into contact and then that ruins both of their races at the end. It is one that is unforgivable, though. It is, of course, what everyone has got in terms of their setups at home. But Corey there in 8th, Tom there in 9th, Keki there in 10th, and Tom, though, in behind. He's showing 1.6 seconds on the back of Corey. I don't think it's 1.6 seconds out on track. Put it that way.
No, it's a bit more than that. And look at that, Corey's lagging again like a house on fire, Colin. I think, James, we should stop riding on board with him because his connection is that bad. Sorry about that, Corey.
Tom going for the move, actually down and towards Sonamon. There's 3 wide on the brakes as well. Max is having a little bit of lag in behind as well. Might be the lobby, actually. Nando on the inside line, that gets the job done, and Corey has just been absolutely opened up there. Keki now to the inside line, and Corey, bless his heart, has just lost 4 positions in 2 corners. You do not want to live that down. The side by side as well coming through. That is a beautiful switch back from Nando. Now on the pace, coming up the hill and towards turn number 4 on the outside line. Tom on the inside line. Beautiful stuff as Tom lags there into the wall. He is nearly out of the race. I think he's got front wing damage. Certainly got a smashed front wing. But Nando there in 8th. That was marvellous. There was a little bit of contact. That was barely minimal. I think, again, the lag just coming into play there between the guys might be the connection of the lobby host, might be elsewhere. Or other things. Perfect though leading, your own there in 2nd, because this will there in 3rd. For 99% of that move, Nando had that clean around the outside.
Well, I have to say, let's just hope it's a spectator glitch and the lobby is fine on their end, because, yeah, it was hard to watch, or it might just be a few drivers in the lobby, but let's just hope that it sorts itself out later on in the race, or it might just be it only is an issue when they try to fight with each other. So we'll see if Nando can try and get past Marlon. No trouble at all for the OP man as he's up into 7th spot, and now he's going to chase down. Just look at the gap that he's starting to increase as well on the other drivers in front. Nando is looking really, really good on those mediums, but the question is, will these get to the end of the race? We're starting to see Mark on his tyres starting to die down in that Aston Martin. He's not going in the positions that we would have thought at the moment, but bearing in mind the top 4 will still have to pit. So considering that, Marcos is your net race leader, but on track, Erpek is your race leader. But I wonder what the top 4 are going to do. I know what Gazilla's going to do. He's going to stretch those hard tyres to around about lap 25 or so and go onto a set of softs. I don't know what the medium runners are going to do, but I doubt those are going to last that long to go onto a set of softs. I think they could be going for a 2-stop strategy. And there's a lot of action going up front between the likes of Nando, Max, and Francesco.
Here he comes to the inside line in towards turn number 12. Does Nando? Francesco made a mistake through the middle part of the lap, and they look at each other. It's nearly 3 wide in towards turn number 13. Turn 13 unlucky for some, but not for Max around the outside of Francesco. Lovely move around the outside. Francesco's tyres absolutely dead. He knows that. He's in the pit lane as well. Everyone else continuing on ahead. If I was Marcos personally, I would have actually pitted in on that lap to go for a set of mediums, because 18 laps on a set of mediums clearly working. So why wouldn't you come in and get the advantage later on? And rallying and Marlon, though, joined at the hip in towards turn 1. Nando and Max the same on the run down the hill and towards turn number 2, but that is a rallying through on Marlon even. He's doing his into 10th, and Nando through on Max as well. He's there in 6th position now, has got Marcos. But put it this way, I thought he would have been about 6 seconds ahead right now. I'm glad I am not a driver out on track right now, because I'd be absolutely hopeless in PSF1. Marcos there in 5th, Nando there in 6th, and just look at the tyres, the mediums compared to the softs, Nando's tyres are an absolute country mile better than Markados's right now. And Markados, unfortunately for him, is going to drop potentially out of the points with his strategy call.
Yeah, it's a nice gamble that Markados made. I love gambles in PSGL, PSF1, but unfortunately, because everyone else had to wanted to stay out to cover off Markados, I think that's what let him down. And knowing that Nando was putting earlier than expected as well, that's not helped Markados in the way. But that was really, really brave from Nando to do that, and he's doing a great job, and that gamble paid off. Meanwhile, Cazidel and Ryderdale have come into the box, and I'll be interested to see what tyres they go on. Cazidel, I presume, will be going to set up the medium compound tyres, and there goes Nando, breezes past, but look at this, Max wants to follow Markados through. Markados is not giving up, and look at the locking from the tyre. This is going to be very, very crazy. Markados is not going to give up without a fight. And look at that, Louis Valentine was following Max and Nando through too. Great stuff from the pair of them as well, but I wonder if it was hard to see because of the lock-up of the tyres chains.
I think it was, and his bends are actually on the outside line of Markados, and that is fair enough for Markados, letting him through. He's into 6th position. Markados there in 7th, both, of course, in the same esports team, not in the same team out on track, but I think fairness rules at the end of the day. And Aurelian has actually got to prove that now on Markados, because he's just done him down the inside line into the chicane, and often not overtaking spot around this track, but Aurelian there through, and he's into 7th. But yeah, Max actually had a phenomenal run coming out of turn number 1. He had a slight slide coming out of turn number 1. If he didn't have that slide, he would have been ahead of Nando right now, and he would have been in the net lead of this race. So Max is definitely the one to watch out for right now, the championship leader against his old title rival and Nando from season 33 as well. So this is going to be very interesting to see out on track as Urpek is into the pit lane. He is going to go, I would only assume, for a set of soft compounded tyres. I can't see him going on a set of hards for 14 laps. Got to be a set of softs for him. Nando or Max are going to run to the line of stern in towards turn number 1.
Softs
and
for
Urpek is
Urpek.
reaching. Yeah, softs for Urpek. And I think as well, Keki is in on a set of softs, or will be in on a set of softs, actually. It's not him, it's Markados that's into the pit lane. I got confused there. Markados is into the pit lane, set of medium compounded tyres on, but Urpek on a set of softs, and actually comes ahead of Cazidel, which is very notable indeed for him in the race.
Yeah, that is interesting to see how powerful a potential overcut could be if you're on the right tyres as well, potentially, if you're not stuck in traffic. If you are stuck in traffic, that is where you're going to lose out all of the time currently. And Urpek doing a great job. But we have seen the likes of the people at the front manage to take those softs pretty much 12 or 13 laps. So if anyone can do it, Urpek can do it. But I won't be surprised if Urpek has to pit again, because 14 laps is just going to be an absolute nightmare. If I was any of those drivers, I don't think I would get those tyres to last 8 laps. So these drivers are a whole class better than me. That's why I'm in the commentary box, not racing. And plus, I can't race with no assist. That's just absolutely annoying. But Jeroen comes into the pit lane. I think that will be for set of the soft compound tyres. So that means everyone has done their mandatory stop required in game. And, Jeroen's gone on for the set of the soft tyres. And Aurelian and Benz are side by side towards turn number 1, James.
They are indeed. The rally, and he nearly got that car stopped. I don't know how he did, but a rally now going around the outside of Benza through turn number 2. OP against F7R. Where have we seen this one before? Coming out through the right-hand with turn number 3. On the run up the hill and towards turn 4 and 5, but they're going to run in line of stern through this corner. Fair play, I think, for Aurelian to just hang in behind Benza. But this is now going to let them back. If they play a little bit of games, OP and F7R, they have an absolute pure history of rivalry in league racing and in sim racing right now, do the two teams. Of course, not here in PSGL because this is individual, but Aurelian and Benza, if they play with each other a little bit too hard, Mubarak there is in 6th position. He's on the set of hards, and he's already catching on the back, so Mubarak is going to be the one to watch out for later on in this race. But Benza and Aurelian, again, I don't know how Aurelian got that car stop in towards turn 1, because otherwise I think we would have seen 2021-esque bowling alley down in towards turn 1.
Yeah, and to be honest, James, I don't think we would have wanted to see that currently. And we have seen a few people get involved in towards turn number 1, and we definitely do not want to see it for a bowling, pretty much being turned to a bowling alley. I absolutely love bowling, by the way. One of my favourite sports, but definitely not in league racing. As Urpet, by the way, gets past Keke up into P7, and Kazizel is going to try and follow him through once more. We didn't see Kazizel come through, and that was a really great move. And don't forget, he's on those medium tyres. I think if Kazizel doesn't have to pit again, because it doesn't look like he's not, because it looks like, obviously, that the drivers were able to last 20 laps on those 7 mediums, I think I'm going to make a bold prediction. I think, James, Kazizel could win this race.
Kazizel could win this race indeed. Rodadal, though, was trying to desperately get past Keke. He's on 22 lap old hards, and now he's to the inside line of the chicane. Now he disposes of him. Keke did not make Rodadal's life too easy there, put it that way, but Kazizel got the inside of turn number 1. A phenomenal move, that, by the way. I don't care how many older tyres that Keke is on. It was phenomenal regardless. Sammy, by the way, on Twitter has actually posted how to completely destroy the race of someone. GG. So he is not happy bunny right now. But who is Nando. But is he going to be for too long? There was somebody running wide there through the final corner. I think that was Mubarak there in the background. Max on the inside line and towards someone, not getting the job done, but there's a rally and down the inside line on Benzer, and these two have had a little bit of contact before on the pass, and a bit of hand and rage there from the Red Bull. Helmut Marko's watching with his hands in his head right now, as now comes to the left-hander of turn number 2, but Benzer has the inside line and has 4th position sealed up once again. A rally in there in 5th. And put it this way, if I was one of the sister teams right now, I would be watching this literally through my fingertips, because I'd realise, God, what could these guys do? Hopefully they don't hit each other. Hopefully they keep on going in terms of the battle. 4th and 5th position. Mubarak there on the back, he's losing a little bit of time. Francesco as well on the back of Keke further down the field looking for a move. But Nando controlling the race out in front. Max there in 2nd. He's got slightly more ERS than Nando. And I said at probably this stage in the race in Qatar that he was controlling the race out in front, Max. He's now controlling the race from in behind, which is weird.
And guess who did that last week? Who was in 2nd place and won the race last week? Urpek. So I wonder if Max wants to get the DRS in towards turn 1 in the penultimate lap. Maybe he learned his lesson from last week, potentially. Maybe he wants to play the DRS chicken. And I think that's very important, that you learn from your mistakes from last week, and that is definitely what he's doing. He's trying. Let's see what ERS usage he's got. He's got, I think, half ERS left. I think 54%, if I'm reading that right, or 64%. So he's got plenty to attack with to get past Nando. Let's see what Nando is like. Nando's in around about 40-30 mark. So it's going to be pretty much even Stevens between the pair of them. So I can't wait to see what these drivers could do towards the end of it. Let us know in the chat, guys. Who do you think is going to win this race? We are going to grab our popcorn out. I'm sure you're going to be doing the same as well. But the race is definitely not over. And to be honest, James, I'm really surprised about this. I did say track limits could play a massive factor in this race. Only 2 drivers have got time penalties. What is this?
Yeah, Corey is the only one that's actually got a track limits penalty out on track. He's on that sort of soft stand in 15th. And Keke, of course, had that collision with Volakongan on that one, and he hasn't served his pit stop right now. But he will, because he's come in for a set of soft compound tyres to the end of the race. But Nando leading the way. Max there in 2nd. It's the calm before the storm. Of course, Storm Debbie coming through here in Ireland and in the UK right now. But calm before the storm is Max on the back of Nando. And do you know what? Here we go. He's to the inside line. In towards turn number 1 now to force to the outside line, because Nando defends the middle of the road. There's now the Ferrari and the AlphaTauri go side by side as they come now through. Turn number 1. Bit of contact again. Max very slidey. Coming out of 1, now through 2, and to the inside line. Surely not this contact. That was absolutely inevitable. Max somehow gets in the lead.
Look
Nando
at Louis
there in 2nd. Louis Valentine trying to hang it around the outside as well. And Benz is nearly in the wall. Louis Valentine, they've got to be careful. They're in the same team at the end of the day. Max leads. Nando 2nd. Louis Valentine in 3rd. How on earth we haven't got a safety car there, I do not know.
And how on earth have they not hit the wall? I have to say, please, the driving standards were good for the last 2 weeks, and then this week's has gone to a little bit of shreds, it looks like. But it is Hungary, I think, at the end of the day. It's quite an narrow track. It is Monaco without the barriers for a reason, but that still means you've got to keep it as clean as you possibly can, because otherwise there's going to be some really horrible debriefs at the end of this one as well. But there we go. So it'll be interesting to see how the last few laps develop as well. We could see safety cars. We could see people on softs, you never know, at the end of this as well. But let's see what Max and Nando can do heading towards turn number 1. But the one driver I'm keeping an eye on is Aurelian. Aurelian pretty much stayed out of this mess. Same with Mubarak as well. Mubarak will get those tyres to the end quite comfortably. Aurelian, I'm not so sure, but I think he's been very lucky just sitting on the backseat out of all of this. And watch out for Kazidl. If these guys in front keep squabbling, Kazidl the prancing horse will come right at you.
Watch out for the Dutchman, no one behind to the inside line of turn number 2. Your own to the inside line. Kazidl has just been sold one there, and that is through into 8th position from the F7R man. And he is the man to watch out for, I think, in this race right now. Your own looking very, very quick indeed. Qualified down in, 14th, I think it was, 13th. He qualified, but he's there in 8th position. And he's doing a phenomenal job out on track. He's got very good pace right now. And he is looking on the back of Erpek potentially in a couple of laps' time. But yeah, you were right in saying Mubarak definitely on that set of hards. Tim backing you up, I think, in terms of his points, saying Mubarak will win. He's there in 6th position. My worry with Mubarak, he's going to have the better tyres towards the end of the race. But he's 6th in a queue of 6 cars. And that is not easy to get through around here in Hungary. It is nearly enough impossible, actually, to try and get through on these guys ahead. But the way they've been fighting, especially a couple of laps ago, Mubarak can take that completely now on the ear and pretty much say to himself, well, if these guys make a little bit of contact, I'm going to be here for 3 points, and I may as well just take this right now. He's there in 6th, doing a great job. Erpek is catching, though, in behind. Nobody going to have moved down in towards turn at number 1. And again, a bit of a lock up there, I think it was from Aurelian through turn number 1. But Max there leading the way. Nando there in 2nd. Louis Valentin in 3rd. Max, by the way, is on 46% of ERS. Nando's on 59. Louis Valentin on 56. Benzer on 44. Aurelian on 44. And Mubarak on 79. So Mubarak, out of everyone, has got more ERS by around 20%.
Yes, I wonder if Mubarak is seeing things that we're not. And we have said, keep an eye on your ERS management around this track because you don't gain as much every lap. And this is what he's doing. He's saving right until the end, and he knows that those tyres could last. I think he's doing exactly the polar opposite to what we saw Kazidl do. Kazidl did not push too much until we saw the medium tyres start to give up the ghost. And that is where we saw the moves being made from Kazidl. I think that's what we're going to see for the Pad GOAT. Don't forget, he is in this tier for the reason. He joined midway through a couple of seasons ago, I believe, or it might have been the season before that. And he's absolutely loving life currently out there at the moment. If I was racing in this tier, I would take T6 in a heartbeat. But these drivers want to win. And if they don't win, they could probably be a bit too disappointed with themselves. But Mubarak has been so unlucky last season. Hardly got any points. Had some unlucky races, and he would have loved to get some decent points to pretty much start his campaign. If he doesn't, he's going to have a bit of a disappointment for him. But I wonder if he's going to play it safe and just watch the tyres die, or it might just be track position, like you were saying. And talking about track position, we saw with the likes, I think, at Mubarak and Erpek, they were even struggling to get past the soft runners who their tyres were giving up the ghost as well. So that was why when people were, when I was asking with their driver thoughts earlier, most people were saying, James, the qualifying was important, and it was because of track position.
Yeah, definitely so. I said earlier on as well that the winner around this track will come from the first 3 rows on the grid, and I'm right in saying that because the top 5 right now, bar Mubarak there in 6th and Erpek there in 7th, who's now joining on the back of the train. The top 5 have all started within the first 3 rows of the grid, which, again, comes to show that I'm Mr. James here in the commentary box. Max leading the way from Nando in 2nd, Louis Valentin there.
Lottery numbers, please.
To the right-hander. Yeah, lottery numbers indeed. I think Erpek, though, is going to try and get the number 6 on the back of Mubarak. Is he going to get the W in towards turn number 1? He should do, down the inside line. And it's Erpek there through, and he's into 6th position. And he is a man on an absolute mission right now in the F7R team. Erpek, of course, fresh from his win last week, fresh from the title last season in PSF2, and he is making good ground to race. The one fear that I have, though, is his tyres. His tyres, you can already see, or I can already see, certainly, on the back rear left, the rear left compound of tyre, on that set of softs, already beginning to blister through the centre of the tyre. That is not good news if you're Erpek, but at least he's still got fresh tyres compared to everyone else ahead.
Yeah, that is a good point as well. We did see the sauce lasting about 12 laps for some of these guys as well, even though we say it could last 8 laps, so people are putting us wrong definitely in. And this was so close from all these drivers. They're definitely exceeding quite a bit of track limits to make sure they can stay ahead of a driver. But I think they're definitely going to play some more risk now in front. Probably Max, definitely Nando as well. If I was Aurelian, I would be a patient boy and just wait for the possibilities that could happen, and maybe they can get past afterwards as well. Because I think Aurelian will take P5 better than when he tries to go for a move and then end up in a crash. But we're going to see Nando and Max going in towards turn number 1. To the inside they go. Max gets the switch back. And we got a bit of a contact from Louis Valentine right in the back as well. As they go down the hill in towards past the DRS straight. Nando to the right-hand side in towards turn number 2. Can he get the move done? No, he can't. Max stayed ahead of the Ferrari driver. Louis Valentine is going to probably play the waiting game and play the back seat. Nando goes up the hill now through turn 3, heading in towards turn number 4.
Oh, what a move.
And Nando, that was the move of dreams there. And this could be a race-winning move. You never know. This could be a fight that we would love to see till the end of this race. Let's hope they can keep this up.
Oh, that was brilliant between them both. Nando there, taking the race lead, taking the initiative, and that all came from a mistake through turn number 11 from Max, running slightly wide, cost himself 0.2 of a second, and Nando took full advantage of that. He thought, no, if you're making the mistake, I'm going to capitalise on that, and Nando... absolutely brilliant piece of driving that from the Portuguese man. Thurney's into the lead. Max there in second. Louis Valentine in third. Louis Valentine there, as you mentioned, had a little bit of contact with Max. Again, with that real snappy rear end that we're seeing from the AlphaTauri. But here comes a rally on the back of Benza as well. Just in the background a shot. Is Max going to have a run at Nando and towards turn number 1? No, is the definitive answer on the run towards turn number 1. Your own might on the back of Mubarak.
Goodness!
It's certainly looking. That's a late one from Mubarak to the inside line. And I think Aurelian was also looking there on the back of Bender, and they're side-by-side running down the hill, and Max is side-by-side with Nando running down the hill as well. Now to the inside of turn number 2, on board with the lead. Nando and Max side-by-side, round the outside of turn number 3. Nando forced him off track. The TF10 man trying to now gun up the hill at turn number 4, but it's not going to work. Nando hangs on to the lead. Max in second, Louis Valentine in third. The gloves are coming off in Hungary.
They are, and to be honest, guys, it's going to be very hard to keep up. I can't call who's going to win this one. It may take one small mistake, and then it could be a chain reaction for all these drivers. So let us know who do you think is going to win this race. I'm sure James can keep an eye in the chat because I'm so invested as to what is going out on circuit right now. We've got 5 drivers on mediums. We've got 2 drivers on softs that are falling off the edge of a cliff, and we got Mubarak, which unfortunately... the gamble of going onto those hard tyres is not paying off here, unfortunately. But he's going to try and see if he can get some points. And we got Markados chasing down Mubarak for P9 on the road as well. We're heading towards that 33 and 35. 3 laps to go of the Hungarian Grand Prix. It is Max's third to last time to try and get past Nando in towards turn number 1. He's going to go for it. To the right-hand side he goes. A bit of contact from the pair of them, but they're keeping it quite clean at the moment. What can Louis Valentine and Ben to do as well, heading past that, and now heading towards turn number 2, and that was beautifully timed from Max there, and he now takes the lead away from Nando in second, Louis Valentine in third, Benzo in fourth, Rain in fifth, and I think this could be a race for Max or Nando to lose. If I was anyone behind, I would take advantage of any opportunities that might ensue in the next few laps.
Yeah, personally, if I was the man in 4th and 5th right now, Bender and Aurelian, I'd be absolutely rubbing my hands in that cockpit because the AlphaTauri and the Ferrari, they made contact coming through turn number 1. No shadow of doubt about it. Max is going to try and escape up the road if he can. But Nando was so quick down on the straight line, he's going to really come back at him through turn number 1 and then down the hill again in towards turn number 2. If I was the Portuguese man right now, I'd pretty much do exactly what the same with Max did as there, because Zizzle goes to the inside on Yaron, gets the job done. He's into 7th. He's a man that has snuck into the race as well. Marko's now on the back, Mubarak on the back, Radadal on the back. Francesco's not too far off either. Could be a 12-car fight for the race lead soon. Max leading the way. Nando there in second. Nando will wait until the final lap of the race to commit to remove. Smart idea, I think, by the Portuguese man. But If they make the same level of contact as what they did last time, or is he going to get the run down the hill, actually, Nando? No, he's going to get in behind on the back of Max.
Play it
but
safe.
Final lap of the race, Nando is going to come storming at Max. Do not be surprised if you see Louis Valentine or Benza win this race, though.
And don't be surprised if Aurelian wins this race, or even Urpek as well, because even though their tyres are dead, they're probably not going to be involved in this battle as well. So the question is, would you play it safe, or would you go for it? If you're in the front two, I would definitely go for it. But if you're in the mid-pack, try and play it safe and see if any carnage ensues, because that could really help you at the end of the day. Because, to be honest, scoring 10 points for the likes of Aurelian and Urpek is definitely better than trying to make your way through the field and crashing. So I think that's what them guys are going to do. Corey, unfortunately, has got a 3-second time penalty. His race, unfortunately, is not going to come into good fruition as Urpek has been pushed off the road. We got Kazizel as well. Kazizel, brilliant move from him, and he's up into 6th place as well. Don't count out him for the win of this race as we're about to reach the final lap of this Hungarian Grand Prix as Nando is going to go for one final time, a lunge on Max. Let's see what he can do in that Ferrari. He's looking for a race win here. He's done it in so many leagues. Max gets a look up from him in towards turn number 1, and a little bit of a mistake for Nando as well. This could allow Louis Valentine into the mix as well. Don't be surprised, James, if we could see some free wide action. Look at this, Louis Valentine is trying to go for it. This is absolutely insane. I'll hand it over to you.
Max has got the control of the race right now. Nando was trying to come out and though up the hill in towards turn number 4. Now through the right-hander as they come in towards turn number 5. Both of them low on ERS. Nando's got 16%. Max has got 8%. Nando needs to make a move, I think, in towards turn number 12 to have any sort of chance of actually winning this race, because right now Max is running away with it out in front, and it could be 2 wins in a row for the man from TF10 as Marlon picks up a penalty further down the field, but Max there leading the way. Nando there in second. I think he might have done enough. The TF10 man, Nando runs completely wide, coming out of turn number 11, now in towards the right-hander at turn number 12, in towards 13 and 14 for the final time. Kazizel forcing again, Aurelian now off track, gets through and he's into 5th. His tyres coming alive at the end of the race, but Max now has done this, coming now through the final corner. He's just going to park the bus through the final corner. The AlphaTauri man now on the run to the line. Max is a 2-time winner in PSGL PSF1 season 35. He takes the race win here in Hungary. Nando there was hungry on the back of him, could not hunt him down though in second. Louis Valentine in third. Benza there in fourth. Fantastic end to that race. But it all came from Nando. That slight slide out of turn number 2, out of turn number 1, on the run towards turn number 2, costly. Max won it from there.
Max won race 1, and we got Urpek that won race 2, and it is Max that is the first driver to win 2 race wins this season. And who could forget that he had a horrific season last season? He's forgetting that season in a heartbeat, and he's pretending that the season ever happened. He is controlling this championship, and you never know. He could be a 2-time PSF1 champion for all we know, and he's going to be absolutely enjoying the rest of it. 3 attempts is the difference in the end, and I have to say, Louis, really great race from him. Benza, even though he's starting on pole, he did the right thing playing it safe because he's up into 5th place. Let's see who's gained quite a few other positions before. No, it's too late now because the game is deciding to cross the finish line. But yeah, Max, your race winner. I wonder if we're going to see a different winner under the light in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, potentially so. I'm just messaging the guys, seeing if they want to join in terms of interviews. I think we might have Louis Valentine joining us, certainly. I know he's normally up for an interview whenever I'm on commentary, but that was a great race. And in the end, Max taking the reign. Do not take it away from Nando, though. Nando did a fantastic job there, finishing in P2. He was so close to the back. He pushed him all the way. But unlike Urpek last week, where Max cracked under the pressure, coming out through the left-hander 15 last time out in Qatar, he didn't crack under the pressure this time around. Had Nando completely all over the back of him. And Nando, in the end, just could not get the job done. Phenomenal race from them both. Max takes the win, though, and he is clear now in terms of the championship. I believe he's on 44 points as he goes into the break week, and his nearest pursuer, I will work that out in a second. But Max out on top from Nando there in second. Louis Valentine there in third. Louis Valentine will probably want to go on for another lap because they would have made contact, I believe, towards turn number 1. But he's there in third. Ben's there in fourth from Kazizel in fifth. Aurelian in sixth. Urpek there in seventh. Markador's there in 8th, and to be fair, 3.3 seconds, and the only man on a 2-stop strategy in the top 10. Great recovery from him. Jeroen there in Mubarak ran off the top 10. What could have it been from Mubarak there in 10th? Then Radadal in 11th, Francesco there in 12th with Marlon, Corey and Tom the top 15. Ryan, Stefano, Volokongan there in 18th. Pecky a lap down in the end. And Sammy Chemsey, of course, DNFing after lap 2 after damage through turn number 1 on lap 1. And that is the end of the Hungarian Grand Prix.
And I don't know why my camera doesn't seem to be performing today, so I will try and fix that as well. But yeah, Max delivered. Markador's great recovery, and then we do have someone in the chat saying Max winning just like normal F1. Yes, I do believe he won in Hungary. So, but except that Max in the AlphaTauri, not the Red Bull like in real life. So yeah, that is what happens there at the moment. But any other drivers that you think stood out, James?
Aurelian was controlling that race, I think, further down the field. I think he finished, in P5, I think it was, in the end, or P6, actually getting overtaken by Kazizel. But there's a lot of chat, actually, about Aurelian saying, did he push to pass you too? So there could be penalties incoming for Kazizel. I think 3 times he might have actually pushed to pass at the same corner. So Kazizel might be one to watch out for, might be getting a slap on the wrist if that is the case. Aurelian, though, did a great job up until his tyres dying on the final lap of the race. He finished there in 6th position. And further down the field, I think Markadors deserves a real mention there in P8. The only man to go on a 2-stop strategy and in the end go from softs then to mediums and to get them to the end of the race. Phenomenal job from him. And he was arguably only coming alive at the end of the race as well on his tyres. So Markadors there in 8th position, but it's a case of what could have been for the German there. And of course, he pushed everywhere in terms of the race results. But last season that was, of course. But Max takes the win. Max shadow of his former self in season 34. This is the real Max in season 35. As we are going to be joined, I believe, by Nando.
Yes, I will get the interview screen up if I can find them. Oh, there we go. It would help if I didn't have it on preview. There we go. We're on the interview screen, so you can drag him in.
Perfect stuff. I will move him in. There we go. He has joined us now in the chat. Nando, first of all, can you hear us?
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Now
we can hear you.
Ah, amazing.
He was on mute. He was keeping us waiting. That's what it was. Nando there, though. P2 out on track. I think P1 was definitely in grasp for you out on that race. Talk us through it, because it was a real fight between you and Max at the end.
Well, a stressful race, first of all, because a lot of driver does a lot of different strategy, like Marcados with the 2 stops, the hard runners as well. So difficult to manage the traffic as well and manage Max behind me as well. And yeah, it was quite a hard fight between him and me. And yeah, very respectful. Almost maybe one time he pushed me out, but maybe I have to check it if I'm gonna report it or not. But apart from that, it was yeah, a lovely fight. I really enjoyed the fight, even if I lose it, unfortunately. But yeah, P1 was on the table today. I didn't do that much practice for today, but yeah, surprise. Yeah, it was a bit of surprise that I was on the pace today. So yeah, quite a shame to not have win this one. But yeah, P2 is still a great result. But we will see after see what reports if we can maybe grab the P1 or not. I'm gonna see.
Yeah, definitely. So I think it was a hard but fair fight. I think in the commentary box, I certainly said that in commentary throughout your battle. And talk us through more about that battle between you and Max all the way through the first sector. And you getting the move done around the outside of turn number 4 was absolutely world class. And it was just an unbelievable move. Talk us through it more about that battle.
Yeah, this move was quite yeah quite difficult to do, but I did it some laps before with Tom, so I knew that it was possible to do it like this. But you have to be on the outside, because on the outside is well too risky to do it. So yeah, I try it again with Max, and he's very respectful, and yeah, he leaves some space to me. I leave some space to him, and yeah, yeah, that move was amazing. Yeah, this is gonna end on TikTok.
Oh, yes. I always
Um,
love your TikTok things as well, because I remember when you got your first ever win in PSF1, and I was like, please put it on your social medias, please put it on your social medias, and you did as well. Whilst I have the mic, I may as well ask a specific question. I was looking at your results for the last couple of races, and also this one as well. Did you think the result was on the table? Because there was some times where we thought that you didn't like this track, but you getting a good qualifying and a good race has probably proved us wrong there.
I don't understand the end of the question. Sorry. Can
You
repeat it, please? Sorry.
probably proved us wrong, delivering a great result there.
If I did a great result today, it was like a sort of redemption against the others, or something like that. If I understand correctly.
Probably with redemption after the first few rounds after missing out.
Okay, yeah. I missed the first round, and now, I'm just trying to come back correctly, do this season correctly, and bring a lot of points. That's the objective, and I will continue to push for it, and yeah, we will see.
And one final question. Of course, we got the break week next week, but in 2 weeks' time, we go to Las Vegas. We've never raced here before in PSGL. First of all, do you like it? Second of all, how are you feeling about it?
Honestly,
I can probably guess your answer.
I don't know if we can talk about Las Vegas like a track. Yeah. Honestly, I don't like it. I didn't race on it. I did some laps on TT because I was curious. But yeah, I think it's one of the worst track to enjoy.
To be
I hope
honest,
the
I
race
don't
will be
like it
enjoyable.
either. I don't like racing either, so high five.
Yeah, high five. I understand. But yeah, I think the rest is gonna be interesting. But the track himself is quite shit, if I'm honest. But,
Excuse for the language as well. Luckily, we're past Watershed in the UK.
sorry.
So luckily, we're past Watershed in the UK, so I think you're let off there. But yeah, congratulations, Nando, on your podium, and I enjoy the next couple of weeks off, and we will see you in 2 weeks for Las Vegas.
Yeah, see you in 2 weeks, and thanks again.
And thank you for putting on a great show. So, James, we are about to wrap up for it seems, unless we have any more interviews.
We don't, unfortunately. Nobody else is in the waiting room, so I think we're done.
Oh, that is a bit of a shame, because I thought we were going to get Louis Valentine. Louis always likes to speak to us for getting that third place, but unfortunately, I think
he put an in the chat.
Oh, so I'm guessing he doesn't want to speak to us. But, he's probably quite busy at the moment. But, yeah, final thoughts before we wrap up, James?
Very, very interesting race. I think what Nando was mentioning there as well, there was a couple of occasions where contact was made between himself and Max, so we might get looked into maybe picking up a penalty for Max, and maybe his race win is the case. But of course, that will go down to the stewards. We'll inform you, of course, in 2 weeks' time. But looking ahead to Las Vegas is a very, very difficult track on this game. That middle sector coming through basically the middle part of the lap is so difficult. We've got that one nearly 2 kilometre straight down in towards turn number, I think it's 14, down in towards that part of the track, down the strip and past Caesar's Palace and all of those famous landmarks, and passing the Sphere as well. But yeah, Las Vegas is going to be really good, I think. It comes to show, I think, something new in terms of the racing. We said that with Qatar as well last season when that made its debut. I'm not looking forward, to be honest, to Las Vegas in terms of the racing action, but then again, at least it'll be better than my disqualification on the formation lap around there.
Well, to be honest, I had a race around Las Vegas. My sprint race went really well. I finished P6, but the least that we say about the main race, the better. Back straight before Caesar's Palace. That's how my race was ended there as well. But yeah, it should be an interesting one. We thought Qatar was going to be hell breaking loose, and that went really well. So you never know. Things could be the same for Las Vegas, or hell will break loose there. We'll have to wait and see in 2 weeks' time. But no races this week in terms of PSGL season 35. But we do have the E-Series on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. So we got some PSGL action there with Nathan Richardson, Joshua Birch taking you through that one. But our next race, I can't remember what date is it. Is it the 20... I think it is 27th. Yeah, 27th of November. So make sure you check us out then at 8 p.m. UK time for some more PSGL action on the PS side. Of course, a few days before that, we got PC. But for myself and James, we'll leave you there for our title sponsors at GT Omega. Have a good evening, and we'll see you in just under 2 weeks. Enjoy the break week, everyone. Bye-bye.
Desperately trying to hang on. He's got the inside. Oh, here he's through on the left-hand side. Hooks the apex, gets on the power nicely, and that is job done. Jarno Opmeer now to the last couple of corners now. His finest drive, his greatest drive, and he's done it at the Circuit of the Americas. He returns to the top step of the podium. Once again, the ghost is back. Jarno Opmeer wins the US Grand Prix in a stunning Grand Prix.